Okay, so first question after your name: why are you here? What triggered you to sign up to the programme? And by that we mean beyond just losing belly fat, losing weight. What does that mean to you? What is it that will allow you to do, or what will that give you? It might be more confidence, it might be the ability to wear better clothes, slimmer fitting clothes, it might be having the ability to take your top off and not feel self-conscious. For everyone it's going to be different, but have a think about why losing weight and losing belly fat is important to you. And was there something specific that happened that triggered you and you thought, you know what, I need to sort this now? It's just a good thing to think about to get your motivation levels up and think, you know, why is this important to me? Next question: what specifically are you looking to achieve over the next 8 weeks? This has to be measurable. Now that sounds pretty obvious, but a lot of people still have too vague a goal, and if your goal's vague, it will reduce your chance of success. So it has to be something that you can put a number to and that you can measure. So if your goal is just to lose a bit of weight, how do you know if you're on track? If you've lost 1 pound, you've lost a bit of weight. It has to be something you can measure. So for example, if your goal is to lose 8 kilos in 8 weeks, by halfway you should have lost 4 kilos. That way you know you're on track. If you haven't lost that much, you know you need to step things up a bit. It just keeps you right. It just makes sure that you know that you're on track. It doesn't just have to be weight in the scales. It could also be body measurements. It could be losing 2 inches off your waist, 3 inches off your waist. It could be fitting into a certain clothes size. It could also be gym related as well. It could be being able to do a certain number of press ups, being able to do a chin up, for example. But it has to be something that you can put a number to, so that you know that you're on track for what you're looking to achieve. And if you're not sure what's realistic, then ask us, make use of us, definitely. Another thing you could think about as well, if it's something you could measure, it could be something like having visible abs, literally being able to see your stomach muscles. But yeah, something that you can actually quantifiably measure. Why is it important to you? You should be able to give a few reasons here. See if you can only really think of 1 or 2 things, then you should maybe question how important this is to you. Most people that do really well have 3 to 5 really good reasons for why this is important to you. And it's very similar to the first question in terms of what is getting these kind of results that you're after going to give you and allow you to do. Next question: what would be the cost of not achieving this goal? So it could be financial, because it's quite a big investment in this programme. It can be other things like, what will you still not be able to do in your day-to-day life if you don't achieve this? This next question: what has to happen between now and the next weeks for you to achieve this? What has to change? So you've got a current set of habits that have gotten you to where you are now and how you currently feel. And in order for you to get to where you want to be in 8 weeks' time, those habits have to change to some extent. Have a good think about what are the things that you are, what is in the gap between where you are now and 8 weeks' time. For example, getting to the gym regularly enough, prepping your food, reducing your alcohol intake, finding non-booze related activities could be one. What is it that you're not doing just now that you're going to have to start doing to get to your goal 8 weeks from now? What's in that gap? What obstacles are in the way of achieving this? Pretty simple. What's held you back in the past? What could you see potentially holding you back? And next up, how are you going to overcome them? What is your strategy? If you don't really have a plan and you're just going to see how it goes, I would really urge you to stop and consider what you're doing. Because things can get in the way, and you need to have a bit of a strategy, a bit of a plan, a realistic one that's going to help you get past that, if that makes sense. So for example, things like if the weekend is where you tend to go astray, it can be prepping food in advance for the weekend and planning things that keep you busy and keep you active, for example. If you tend to miss the gym on a Monday, it could be making sure you book your sessions in advance for Monday, for example. Just always have a strategy, always have a plan in place. And lastly, this is a bit of a slightly different question. How will you reward yourself at the end of the weeks I say, it says if, when you achieve this, how will you reward yourself? Because that's the whole point of it, is to enjoy your results. Once you kind of feel really, really good about yourself 8 weeks from now, it's what's it all for. There should be a point to it at the end. It could be anything. It could be a big night out if that's your thing. It could be eating a really nice restaurant. It could be having a takeaway. In what way are you going to give yourself a pat on the back? And we'll definitely say that's an important consideration as well. Like I say, if you've got any questions about this, don't struggle on your own. Ask myself or Grant, and we'll definitely get back to you and guide you in the right way. Cheers.